hello, hello, God, oh my, have mercy. Welcome to Omega Live with JJ, Woman Without Borders. Thank you for joining me today. It is Tuesday, April 14th, 2020. And I know you could have been otherwise, but you chose to be here with me, and I do not take it for granted. I appreciate you being here with me. Okay, I thank you so much for your time. I'm going to remind you that I am on data. So if it is that at any point we get disconnected, I have learned now, every day is a learning experience for me, So now I've learned to do playlists. So what I'm doing now is when it gets when interrupted, or the feed gets interrupted, then I just continue, and then I put it together as a playlist, and so that when I send the link to you, it just flows right as one straight through video. So don't worry if we get disconnected and you don't get to hear part 2 or part 3. I put them together as a playlist for you. Yes, but I'm happy that you're here with me today, right? Happy Tuesday. Yes, and you know the drill. Before I give you my commentary, I read the news to you so you know what's happening, okay? And for those who have not gotten the voice note from me this morning, then you basically have no idea what's going on. And so I am going to read to you the news as of today, Tuesday, April 14th, right? Okay, so Jamaica now has 73 confirmed cases of the coronavirus disease COVID-19, according to the Ministry of Health and Wellness. The newest case is that of a 57-year-old male from Kingston and St. Andrew with no travel history, but is a contact of a confirmed case. Right? Okay, so guys, um, I am going to now give you a breakdown of the coronavirus disease according to each parish, right? I'm going to give you a parish by parish breakdown. All right, so right now we have St. Mary only has one case of the COVID-19. In St. Mary, only one case, one confirmed case in St. Mary. Portland is right beside them, right? Portland has 5 cases. And St. Anne, which is on the other side of them, has 7 cases. Yeah? And then Westmoreland, on our side here, has 2 cases in Westmoreland, right? And then I'm in Montego Bay, Jamaica, you know that, right? Okay, so we have 5 cases in St. James. There are 5 cases in St. Catherine. St. Elizabeth has 4 cases. And I'm going to talk about that some more in a little while. Later on, when I read some more news, you're going to see why. Okay, so in St. Elizabeth, there are 4 cases. Clarendon, my God, Clarendon has 15 cases. There are 15 cases in Clarendon. But don't panic, guys, because remember, Clarendon is where we have the community of Corn Peace, right? The community that is under quarantine. Most of the cases are in that area of Corn Peace and the surrounding areas of Portland Cottage. Remember, I told you about Portland Cottage. We haven't heard much about Portland Cottage, and those surrounding areas. But remember, I told you that there were some cases in that area because the persons who were in Corn Peace, right? The gentleman who died, his family are living in areas including Portland Cottage. Yeah, and so it's a family, an extended family and friends who are basically these cases that are in Clarendon, all right? And then Manchester, I told you yesterday, Manchester has 9 cases, right? And of course, you know that Hanover has no case, and Trelawney has no case, and St. Thomas has no case. So I am not buying this talk about community spread. As far as I'm concerned, there is no community spread. I am not buying that talk about community spread. because Hanover has none, Trelawney has none, and St. Thomas has none, right? And the leader of the pack, surprise, surprise, is Kingston and St. Andrew with 20 cases. 20 cases in Kingston and St. Andrew. So that's the breakdown, guys, of the novel coronavirus, the coronavirus disease, COVID-19. Yeah? Okay, so meanwhile, we now have 19 recoveries. 19 recoveries. We're getting there, guys. They're getting better. Persons are getting better. Thank the Lord. Persons are getting better, right? So we had 3 more persons who tested negative. You know what they do, right? They test you, they do the COVID-19 test, and they give it to you twice within a 48-hour period, right? So if you come back negative twice within that 48-hour period, then you're considered recovered. And so then they release you from the hospital and send you back home, right? So that's what happened. We had 3 more persons like that. And so now we're up to 19, right? Okay, so here's another interesting one. Okay, leading up to what I was saying to you earlier on about sensitivity, we're going to get to that. So, in response to the media pressure concerning the Jamaican crew members aboard the Marella Discovery 2, that ship that came to Jamaica, the Marella Discovery 2, who were refused entry after ports were closed, the government has issued a statement, right? Government has issued a statement. So I am going to read for you the statement that was issued by the government. I promise you that I was going to read the statement. So I'm going to read the full statement for you. This was issued by the government, right? It was a joint statement that was made between the Ministry of National Security and the Ministry of Foreign Affairs and Foreign Trade. We're going to talk about it in a minute, but let me get to the statement. Let me read the statement for you first, right? So here's the statement. We understand the disappointment and anxiety of these cruise line workers and similar sentiments experienced by other Jamaican workers overseas who await the reopening of our borders to return home. We have, however, confirmed the following. The vessel did not come into the Jamaican Harbour / port on April 2nd, but was anchored at the California Bluffs, which is 12 miles south of Port Royal, for refueling. Listen carefully. The ship's agent made contact with the Port Authority and Port Health agents, advising of a request for 43 Jamaican crew members to be landed. 43 Jamaican crew members to be landed. Between the relevant immigration and health authorities, the agent was advised that the ports were closed and that landing of the crew would require an exemption. This was communicated to the captain of the ship. That was what was said to the captain of the ship. The matter came to the attention of the Emergency Health Operations Committee that evening, that is the evening of April 2nd, guys. Listen carefully. The evening of April 2nd. The health authorities made inquiries of temperature checks and any evidence of COVID-19 on the vessel, and further made efforts to identify appropriate available quarantine facilities and resources to support same to determine if it would be possible to recommend the exemption to the relevant minister and the cabinet. During that process, before cabinet, during that process, in the early afternoon of the following day, that is now April 3rd, that was a Friday, right? The ship's agent advised that the request for repatriation was withdrawn and that the vessel was continuing on its route. And you know, the route was to the Dominican Republic, right? Where they went and disembarked the Dominican Republic, the Republicans, right? The efforts regarding possible facilitation of the landing of the workers were therefore discontinued. You heard that, right? It was therefore discontinued. It is surmised that the captain may have taken the decision not to wait for a process for which neither a guarantee of success nor a timeline could be given. Listen carefully to these legalese, guys. All right. Nor a timeline could be given in light of the existing legal restrictions regarding our borders. Okay. For additional context, we wish to remind the public, they're putting it in context. So listen to the context that they're putting it in. For additional context, we wish to remind the public and advise the crew members who may not have been aware, okay, they know the crew members are contacting their families overseas and here. So this is for us. We might not be aware that during the period when the request was made, this is April 2nd to the 3rd, the relevant authorities were still in the process of trying to locate more than 5,000 persons who entered Jamaica between March 18th and 24th. When? Between March 18th and 24th, who had not reported to the Ministry of Health and Wellness. This was a high-risk set of circumstances, as there was evidence that many of those persons were not abiding by the self-quarantine rules. Are you listening? Furthermore, the decision to close Jamaica's borders to passenger traffic in the first place took consideration of the reality that the majority of Jamaican coronavirus cases are Jamaicans who traveled overseas or persons who made contact with them when they came to Jamaica. The risk of accepting nearly 50 additional persons from a cruise ship, especially without confirmed quarantine arrangements, would have been particularly high at that time and would clearly have posed a further threat to public health and safety. We, however, wish to advise the workers who were impacted and other groups of workers on cruise and other temporary arrangements overseas that the Jamaican government is now considering protocols to permit the controlled re-entry of Jamaicans when possible, contingent on quarantine and isolation capacity, among other variables, pending the full reopening of our borders to passenger traffic. We will update the public on these matters as soon as possible. We note in closing that the government must continue to be guided by public health imperatives on matters such as these, and that while the Ministry of Foreign Affairs and Foreign Trade did not handle this matter as it has no authority over border control, it will work with all relevant ministries to monitor the matter and to seek the most suitable arrangements and support for our nationals overseas. The end. Alright, so where do I start? So guys, let me say this. So this is my spiel. Alright. And you heard, right? You know, one of the things, let me tell you something. You see, accountability is something that, you know, it speaks of integrity, right? It speaks of, you know, persons who take responsibility, not passing the buck, not playing the blame game, right? But being accountable for your actions, right? I am not perfect. I make mistakes, okay? But whenever I do, I stand up and I give account, and I am responsible for it, for my own actions. And so I'm the first to say, you know what, I am wrong. If I am wrong, I say I am wrong. I apologize. That's me. I am that kind of person. People who know me will tell you. If I do something and I know that I am wrong, I'm going to be the first to say, I am sorry. I am not too big to apologize. That is me. I am quick to say I'm sorry from the bottom of my heart if I know I am wrong. And if you point out to me and I did not see that I was wrong and you pointed it out to me, I look into myself And even if I don't say it at that point in time, because I meditate a lot, during my meditation process, it comes to me that, you know what, you were wrong. And you know what, JJ, you're going to do something about it. And trust me, I'm going to do something about it. Okay, that's me. Now, this kind of, I don't curse bad words. But you see the persons who on social media who are cursing bad words after hearing and listening to this, I can't blame them. You understand? Because this sounds like a lot of BS, doesn't it? Mm-hmm. Yeah? What are you saying? What are you saying? First of all, let me give you some information, guys. Let me give you some information. All right. So, in the first instance, remember now, the boat docked, according to them, it was south of Port Royal, so it was, according to them. I wonder if it's not in Jamaican waters. Apparently, it's not in Jamaican waters, right? Mm-hmm. So, the boat docked on April 2nd for refueling. So who is giving them fuel? It's not the Jamaican government giving them fuel, right? Is it Cuba? Is it Haiti? Is it the Cayman Islands? Who's giving this ship fuel? Huh? So the ship is docking for refueling, and the captain has expressed an interest to ensure that the 43 crew members, they are in Jamaican waters, so it should not be a problem for them to be home. Yeah? So he has made a request to disembark 43 crew members. On the 2nd of April. All right. Now, let me get some information. Who remember that on the 24th of March, Dr. Christopher Tufton made an appeal for 600 rooms. You remember that? And who remember that Jake Hotel was the first hotelier to step forward and offer 75 rooms? Remember that? Yeah? Make you some more information. Sanders Hotel has Gordon Bush Stewart as a hotel in Montego Bay, Jamaica on Kent Avenue that is unoccupied, right? And he made that hotel on Kent Avenue in Montego Bay, Jamaica available to the government, right? So we have rooms in Montego Bay, we have rooms in St. Elizabeth, where there are only 4 cases, remember, right? There are 75 available rooms in St. Elizabeth with only 4 confirmed cases in St. Elizabeth, all right? And so we have 43 crew members who require a place to stay, right? Okay, now, continuing. On the 25th of March, I'm dragging remembering again because all of these things that I'm saying to you, I know that I read them during Omega Live program, and you guys can go back into my channel, into my library, and go and find, right, all of these videos that I have done, these recordings on Omega Live, where I talked about all of this, what I'm saying to you now. This is a recap and to jog your memory of what I'm saying, right? Okay. On the 25th of March, Deputy Public Health Inspector Rochelle McFarlane, you remember me talking about that, right? She stated that the public health inspectors have been deployed to the ports, right? And she said that they have adequate, listen, she said they had adequate staff for coverage of the airport and seaport. There was adequate coverage for the airport and the seaport. All right. I'm going to learn one more thing before I continue. So I went, I'm on Twitter. So I went and I'm following the Honorable Kamina Johnson Smith. I follow her. So whenever she tweets, I see her tweets. And the last tweet on that platform, whether directly by her or her aide or aides, was at 8 o'clock this morning. That was the last tweet of this, and I saw all the tweets up until this morning, 8 o'clock, up until when I came on this program. The last tweet on that platform was at 8 o'clock this morning, and that tweet had nothing to do with those crew members and this statement that was issued jointly by her office, by her ministry, and the Ministry of National Security. Instead, she was talking about the mobile units that have been deployed today. After all this time to talk about deploying the mobile units, today was the first day, guys, that the mobile units were deployed, and one was sent to Corn Peace today. Yeah. well, not today, sorry, yesterday, the 13th. Yeah. Okay. And that was the latest news. No talk about the crew members. No talk about the statement, that joint statement that was sent out, that many people are calling a BS. Okay. I mean, seriously speaking, what you are saying, you are now, what you're doing now, you're now insulting people's intelligence. That's what you're doing now. Mr. Andrew Holness, the Honorable Andrew Holness, Prime Minister of Jamaica. Please, sir. We know this falls under both the Ministry of National Security because of border concerns, Ministry of Health and Wellness because of the COVID-19, and the Ministry of Foreign Affairs and Foreign Trade as overseers of the fact that, I mean, we're talking about Marella Discovery too, right? It's a foreign ship, right? But we have Jamaicans on board. Now, guys, let me tell you this. I don't know if you have heard this part of it. Did you know that this ship landed in Portugal and they refused to allow any disembarkment? Yes, the ship reached Portugal and they were not allowed to dock. They were not allowed to dock in Portugal, guys. The Portuguese government turned back the ship. I can't blame them. I really cannot blame them. Okay? I cannot blame them. If our own government turned them back, right? If our own government turned them back, what do you expect the Portuguese government to do? What? So now here we are, as I understand it, the ship is now on its way to the UK. It is supposed to dock at the Southampton pier, and as I understand it, the Southampton pier is approximately 4 days from Lisbon. From Lisbon, Portugal, to Southampton in the United Kingdom is approximately 4 days journey. Unless, of course, there are other mitigating circumstances that might prevent that. But that's my understanding, okay? Fair weather, it might take that time. So that, which means basically, from the time they left, they should get there by this Friday, if my calculations are correct, right? So by this Friday, they should dock at Southampton. Okay. Now, it is expected that the United Kingdom government is not going to turn away the ship. That's what's expected. Of course, what our expectations sometimes exceed the reality of the circumstances, right? We know that, right? And so we are only hoping that in reality, the reality and expectations will mesh, right? And the reality is that the ship will land and the Jamaicans will be able to disembark, okay? Of course, that this is a developing and a continuing story. You understand that, because, I mean, there is no way that they can stay in the UK. They have to return home, right? And so, as I told you yesterday, you know this is going to be. And guess what, guys? You said they're going to have to spend some money, right, to get these people back to Jamaica. Right. Money that they didn't have to spend. Guess who is going to have to pay for that money that they're going to spend? Yes, we the taxpayers. Okay, we the taxpayers are the ones who are going to be funding this because they're going to tax us to cover these expenses that they're going to be paying. So don't think that you're not going to be taxed when all is said and done. When this is over, you're going to be taxed, and taxed heavily too when this is all said and done, because they have to recoup their money. And this is money that they didn't have to spend in the first instance, right? If they had just allowed the person. And you heard me, you heard their statement, and you heard what I said to you. So you can't have your cake and eat it too. Was there proper infrastructure in place or not? What are you saying to me? It sounds to me, what you're saying to me, that the good suffering for the bad. So you're saying now, you let in people between the 18th and the 24th to run amok into the country who you have no idea where they are according to you. And so now, the good suffering for the bad, you're not letting anybody else in. Really? What should have been done was a proper example set. Say, okay, so you didn't have, you lost count and lost track of those who came in before, but now we're going to keep a tight, a keen eye and have a tight rein on these coming in now. Yeah. So now what you do, every single Jackman, all 43 coming off, you would have, you'd have been like, in Jamaica we say PP clock, right behind their tails, right? Not letting them out of your sight because you already have facility. There's another issue. You have facilities, things, you have the protocol in place. That's not an issue. So really and truly, what is the issue? So again, I'm going to say, I'm going to ask again, sir. Please tell the Jamaican populace and the diaspora and the people of the world who are interested in Jamaican politics and Jamaican affairs exactly what is going on, because the story don't make any sense. It's still not making that sentence, that statement only make matters worse. You understand? It does not make any sense what you are saying as to the reason you did not allow the persons to. And don't try to blame the captain, because the captain is on a schedule. You understand? He's on a schedule. So don't try to blame him to say that he withdrew the request. The man withdrew the request after you already told him that you had to go to parliament, you had to go to cabinet, and you had a process that you had to go through. What process? The man understand how politics work. So you're gonna go to parliament to get the okay for him to release 43 Jamaicans of his foreign ship. Really? No. My grandmother would say, you tell that donkey that, he'll get up and kick you. Mm-hmm. Right? Right. So stop insulting our intelligence, sir and ma'am, and everyone involved in this, okay? And be honest with us and let us know the truth. We can handle the truth, okay? Who saw that Jack Nicholson movie? A Few Good Men. If you have not seen that movie, A Few Good Men, I encourage you to go and watch that movie, A Few Good Men. Oh my God, Jack Nicholson, he was just the best in that movie. You can handle the truth. Yes, we can handle the truth. Yes, give us the truth. Let us process it, okay? Stop insulting our intelligence, all right? Okay. So that's my spiel, guys, on that. A continuing developing story. So you know I'm going to be saying more in the future about it. Okay. So I'm now continuing. So yesterday, that's Monday, right? And this was going viral on social media. Actually, there was a fire. There was a fire that took place in Old Harbour. A fire in Old Harbour. Sorry about that. There was a fire in Old Harbour at Lee's Wholesale and Grocery. Lee's Wholesale and Grocery. Old Harbour, for those who don't know, is in the parish of St. Catherine, Jamaica, right? On the eastern side of our island. And so there was a fire. The blaze was so big, guys, that it took 2 units, the Old Harbour Fire Brigade, of course, but another one had to come from St. Spanish Town. That was the next one. That was the closest one outside of the Old Harbour Fire Brigade, and that took a little while to get there, because I was actually watching the clippings on YouTube, and basically you could see wherein the fire brigade, the Old Harbour unit, they were overwhelmed. So, and they were there for a while by themselves before the other unit from Spanish Town came to assist in the control of the blaze. And I'm surprised that it's only a partial, the building was only partially destroyed, because the way it looked, I thought the whole thing was going up in smoke. Yeah. But it's only a partial fire. But nevertheless, they are expecting that damages are going to run into the millions of dollars, okay? And of course, you know, the origin of that fire, they would not have known as yet. It is under investigation. So this is a developing story that I will have more information for you as we proceed during the course of this week, right? Okay. Now, this one. Dr. Wyckam McNeill has denied report that he has been involved in activities to replace party leader and opposition leader of the party leader, referring to the People's National Party, of course, PNP, right? And opposition leader, Dr. Peter David Phillips. Yeah. So he basically there was another viral, you know, social media. Oh God, thank God for social media. It has its good and its bad. We know it has its bad, but it has its good also, right? So as something is sensational, you know how it is, it goes viral on social media. I wish my YouTube videos would go viral just the same. Hello. Yeah. So anyways, they were circulating okay, Okay, sorry about that, guys. Welcome back. Yes, I was telling you about Dr. Wyckam McNeill. You know, he's one of the vice president of the People National Party, also, right? And he's also member of Parliament for Westmoreland Western, and he's also the spokesman on tourism and for the People's National Party. So, yeah, he holds a very important position. So basically, he issued a statement also about issuing statements, you know. So he also issued a statement concerning this report that has been circulating. And he says, basically, the party leader is currently doing well. He is in good spirits, and I expect him to be back at work shortly. The allegations and mudslinging currently being promoted by people are intended to sow seeds of discontent and disunity with our beloved party and must be seen as such. It is callous and distasteful, and I would ask the organizers to desist. The PNP has faced similar challenges before, and unity of purpose and true comradeship has carried us through. Yeah. Yeah. Not much to say on that. It's a developing story, but I will have more for you as more information comes my way. Okay, one thing I will say about that though is that, okay, again, Dr. Peter David Phillips, with all due respect, sir, I said it so many times. From last year, I tweeted to you about it. I've said it many times. I've said it on this platform over and over again, and it has gone on deaf ears. And I know your supporters are saying, yes, you're supposed to stay there. But I'm saying they're doing you a disservice. Okay, because here in the message that was just read by Dr. McNeill, you see, mudslinging is not a nice word. For your name to be associated with mudslinging, it's not a nice thing. I said it before and I'm going to say it again. You should have, and it's not too late now, to retire gracefully. You understand? Instead of allow this kind of circus, because I see a circus developing here going forward, right? I see wherein, okay, so you had last year a challenge by your namesake, Peter Bunting, right? And now there is rumors, and you know they always say about these things. There is, remember, in every lie there's always the ounce of truth. And now they're saying that Dr. Wyckam McNeill is coming after your seat. I'm saying all of these things were unnecessary. All of these things were unnecessary. It was uncalled for. It didn't have to happen. All you had to do was retire gracefully. It was no shame in your game. If you had done that, you'd have gone out like Kenny Rogers said, in the blaze of glory. Let's go out in the blaze of glory. Yeah? You would have gone out in the blaze. Welcome back. Thanks for sticking with me. Okay. So, yes, that's all I'm going to say on with regard to that. It's a developing story, as I said before, and so I will have, as I get more information, you know, I'll pass it on to you, my viewers, right? Absolutely. So, continuing. Yes, Freddie Green. Who knows Freddie Green? Freddie Green. That's athlete and sports administrator. He died. Yeah, died over the weekend. So, the Minister of Culture, Gender, Entertainment and Sport, the Honorable Olivia Babsy Grange, you know, she was the patron for the telethon, the COVID-19 telethon, right? So she issued a statement concerning the death of Freddie Green, in which she described him as one of the finest athletes and sports administrators Jamaica has ever produced. Right? Mr. Green was the former general secretary of the Inter-Secondary School Sports Association. So everybody who was into boys and girls champs, they would have known of Freddie Green, right? Mm-hmm. So he died late Sunday. So she said, quote, Freddie Green was a kind and affable man. He was a sportsman through and through. He was an outstanding athlete from his high days when he represented Kingston College, KC. Yeah, Fortis forever. That's where my son went. Big up KC. In three disciplines. He played football, cricket, and track and field. Very versatile man, yeah? Mhm. Helping them with national titles in all three. Later, he became a teacher of physical education, a football coach, director of sports at the University of the West Indies, general secretary of ISO for more than 30 years, and IAF track official. And he also found time to represent Jamaica in volleyball. Huh? Freddie served sports faithfully throughout his life and is one of the finest athletes and sports administrators Jamaica has ever produced. I put in the ever, end quote, without the ever. Right. So she expressed condolences to his family, and Omega Live and JJ are also expressing and sending sincere condolences and prayers to Freddie Green's family and friends and everyone who are mourning the passing at this time. Losing someone, no matter he was 88 years old, guys. So you could say that he has been there and done and he has lived a full life. But it doesn't matter if he has lived his life and the time has come for him to go. Losing someone is never an easy thing. Yeah, I can tell you, it's never an easy thing. So even when it's expected, it's still not easy. So our hearts go out to the family, right? And we salute you. Okay. All right. So going, continuing. There's more to say, more to say. Next. Oh, yes. There's called also that we need a debt registry, guys. And don't you agree? We need a debt registry because I'm trying to find information and it's so hard to find information online because you know how the internet works, right? It's content creation. People create content and then Google, as one of the search engines, aggregate all this information. And so when you put in a search term, right, based on your search terms, you're able to produce this content that has already been created, right? Okay, so apparently, no one has, and I don't have the time to. You believe it or not? I don't have the time to imagine that to actually create one. If I had the time, I would. But we do need to have a registry. So we want whether someone who take up this mantle and actually put together a debt registry, all the debts of all the Jamaicans overseas who have died from the coronavirus. So, like we know, for example, that there were 5 nurses and an ex-soldier in New York. We know it's more than that. So we want to have a registry that we can go to where we can see the exact numbers of Jamaicans who have died from coronavirus overseas, right? So that's very important. Anyone want to take that up? That's a good project to take up. All right. And Foota Hype. To be honest with you, I didn't even know. I've heard the name Foota Hype, but I didn't know who this Foota Hype was. I didn't even know that he was in detention. I'm sorry, I probably should be more aware. But as much as current as I am on news, that one slipped through the cracks for me. And so this was news for me when I heard he was released. I was like, he was detained? Okay, then. Okay, so Foota Hype was detained in a Florida detention center from December of 2019. Apparently, there were some immigration issues, so he was in detention from last year. So he actually, his birthday was in March, right? Last month was his birthday. He actually celebrated his birthday in detention. Oh my, so sorry. Anyways, he was released, right? And the first thing the gentleman do, what do you think he did the first thing after being released? He went on IG. He went on IG to rant and rave. Oh boy. Let's see. December, January, February, March, April. Seriously, Foota? You didn't learn anything at all while you were in detention? Guys, I do not again, remember, I'm not here to judge anyone. I'm not here to judge you. I'm here to give you information for you to make informed decisions. But I have an opinion, right? And I'm saying one of the things that I have learned, especially with COVID-19, has shown all of us that quiet time is a time of reflection, right? It's supposed to help us to look into ourselves, look at ourselves, and make adjustments. We're supposed to make adjustments. It's personal growth and development, guys. We're supposed to grow every single day. As long as God's breath still exists in us, we're still breathing God's air. We are supposed to make adjustments in our lives. We're supposed to grow, improve on ourselves. Yeah? I do it every single day. I do it. I look when I'm meditating tonight. I go into my meditation, I'm meditating, and I look back at the day. I look at what I said, what I did. How can I improve on it? How can I do better? Because I expect that I'm going to do that as personal growth and development. That's what we're supposed to do, guys. And when I have an opportunity to be in detention from December until April, I would have thought you would have learned some kind of lesson, whether you were in there, whether you were guilty or not guilty, neither here nor there. That's not the point. The point of is the downtime you've been given, because sometimes these things happen to us. Sometimes God allows things to happen to us, guys, for us to learn some lessons from them, for us to grow from them. Yeah? And I can't believe the thing that you're on Instagram saying, right? When you just came out of detention. Foota, come on. No? I'm saying, I'm not knocking you. I'm telling you what and what not to do. I'm giving you some information for you to make some informed decision. I'm saying that it behooves persons when they are held in detention or they have a lot of quality time on their hands to use that time wisely. And one of the things that they can do with that time is actually to try to improve on themselves, right? It's called personal growth and development. Okay. All right. And some more sad news, guys. Sorry. I hate to be the bearer of bad news, yeah. But the Wolmer's boys community, they are now also in mourning following the death of sixth former Hugh McGee. Yeah. McGee was in a motor car accident over the weekend, guys. Yeah, he collided with another car. I don't know where it's going, where it's coming from. That's not my business, but sincere condolences to the family, the Walmart's community, and his personal family, and biological family and friends. Condolences. And you know that the academia is still mourning, not only with Maggie now, but we have been mourning since last week for the vice principal for Excelsior. Excelsior Community College, you know that Excelsior High School, sorry, not the Community College, Excelsior High School. I went to Excelsior High School. I'm a Aggie animal, right? I'm an Aggie old girl, right? Do it with thy might. Go Aggie. Shout out to all my fellow Excelsorians. Yeah. Well, we're still in mourning for the vice principal, Colleen Walker. She was shot and killed last week, Thursday. And so, I don't know what's going on, guys. We're just having a lot of deaths in academia. Yeah. So that's a developing story also. Both of them are developing stories, and I will have more as I get more information concerning both of them, concerning the death, concerning the funerals, and all kind of stuff. Well, at this point in time, what funeral, right? It's just a sad time. These are the things that I'm talking about, guys, because think about it. Your family die, you can't even have a funeral because of COVID-19. This is tough times, Yeah. Yeah. So you're mourning Freddie, you're mourning, Maggie, you're mourning Walker, all of these persons, and at the same time, no funerals because of COVID-19. Yeah. All right. All right, let me go overseas. All right, because I'm already 45 minutes into the program. And so it's time to go overseas. I'm a woman without borders, right? Yeah, woman without borders. So I got to give you some international news also. Absolutely. And so, guys, do you know that the number of confirmed COVID-19 cases worldwide is now past the 2 million mark? Yes, over 2 million worldwide. And believe it or not, a quarter of that number is in the United States of America alone. Of the over 200 and plus countries in the world, the USA has quarter the amount. They have I think it's about 580,000 they have now, soon reach 600,000 in the US. By the end of the month, it is expected to reach 1 million in the US alone. Guys, we have to pray for, ourselves here. Yeah. Pray for God's intervention. Yeah. It's God, it doesn't have to, right? For whatever reason, it's still God. But I believe that collectively, the effective, fervent prayer of a righteous man avails much. Yeah, I do believe in that. So, um, we can. I'm working on another program. You see, guys, let me get a little sneak peek. I'm working on another program, and this program that I'm working on, I am going to be doing stories. Stories that I'm going to be doing. That's all I'm going to be doing, telling stories. Stories of persons who have had encounters with God over the centuries that the earth has been around for the many decades, the many centuries, the many millennia that the world have been around. Persons have had encounters with God, and in different, he appears to persons differently. His character changes with each person depending on the circumstance, because he is God. And so I am going to be doing a series, just telling stories, right, to show you, give an idea of who God is, right? Because many persons don't have a relationship with him, and they don't really know, but they would like to know. And so, and they have a misconception based on false narrative that have floated over the centuries, right, about who God is. And so I'm not going to say that I know everything there is to know about God, but I do have an idea. I do have an idea, right? And so I'm going to be sharing stories, right, including like stories about like King David of the Israelites, for example, right? Moses, right? I'm going to be sharing stories in a new series that I'm putting together. I'm working on that. Yeah. So as I was saying, now back to the news. Yeah, I'm saying that I believe that we can pray collectively, sincerely, and have a change and change God's change God's heart, so to speak, in terms of intervening in what is happening. Yeah, I believe it's going to intervene. I really believe it's going to intervene. And for whatever reason, he has chosen not to as yet. Could be that there are some more lessons to be learned, and we have to learn our lessons, and he will allow us to learn our lessons. That's a possibility. I'm just saying, all right, maybe, whatever it is, right? We'll just have to continue to pray for each other, and pray for the strength of those who have lost loved ones, right? In New York, over 10,000 have died in New York alone. Over 10,000. I know there are many Jamaicans in that number. Okay, because the population of New York, that there are many Jamaicans there, right? It's a melting pot of persons from all over the world in New York, right? You find everybody in New York, every single nationality is in New York, including Jamaicans. And so in New York alone, over 10,000. We have lost over 10,000. Yeah. And basically, Houston has been doing very well. They have it's the fourth largest city, and for the fourth largest city, their numbers in comparison are pretty small in comparison. Yeah. Yeah. So this doctor, I gotta tell you this. This Dr. Sebastian Johnson is a professor of respiratory medicine at Imperial College London. Said it appeared that the COVID-19 had peaked in much of Europe, including France, Spain, Germany, Italy, and the UK. But he is worried that the virus might now start to take off in countries across Latin America, Africa, and Southeast Asia. I hope that he is wrong in his assessment. I really do hope that he is wrong in his assessment, right? Because you know that in the entire island of Africa, the entire continent of Africa, they have under 10,000, right? In the entire, and we don't want to see that number increasing at all, Doc. So we hope that you are wrong, right? Yeah. Okay. And another important news here: the IMF canceled um 25 let me give it to you properly. Okay, so the International Monetary Fund, the IMF, they approved $500 million on Monday to cancel 6 months of debt payments for 25 of the world's most impoverished countries so that they can help tackle the COVID-19 pandemic. And sorry to say, Jamaica is not in that number, okay? So don't even look at that direction, because we are not in the bottom. Thank God for that. 25 most impoverished countries in the world. No, we're not. Okay. IMF Executive Director Kristalina Georgieva issued a statement saying that the IMF Executive Board approved the immediate debt service relief for 19 African countries. So most of them is in Africa. I mean, this is a phenomenon, isn't it? And maybe one day I'll speak to that and address that. But for a continent of with gold and silver and diamonds and all these precious jewels and precious stones, for them to have some of the most impoverished countries in the world, doesn't that say something? Yeah. So 19 African countries, including sorry, they didn't list the 19 African countries. In addition to countries such as Afghanistan and Haiti. Haiti in our Caribbean, Haiti is considered one of those impoverished countries. Yes, so Haiti is in the number, right? Haiti is a part of the dual countries of the island of Hispaniola, right? You have Haiti on one side, on the western side, and then you have Dominican Republic on the eastern side, right? So Haiti, and interestingly enough, two countries on one island, and the Dominican Republic is not impoverished. Another food for thought, right? Okay, continuing. So the 19 African countries, in addition to Afghanistan, Haiti, Nepal, the Solomon Islands, Tajikistan, and Yemen. These are the countries that are going to basically benefit from this $500 million donation from the IMF. She said this provides grants to our poorest and most vulnerable members to cover their IMF debt obligations for an initial phase over the next 6 months and will help them channel more of their scarce financial resources towards vital emergency medical and other relief efforts. Right. She said the money will come from the IMF revamped Catastrophe Containment and Relief Trust, which will use recent pledges of $185 million from the United Kingdom and $100 million from Japan. Right. She urged other donors to come forward to help to replenish the trust resources. Okay. Oh, and I do actually have the list of the 19. In case for those persons, I have some persons who like, data or something, data. For those who like data or data, we do have the list of the 19 African countries who are going to receive some aid from the IMF. And these countries are Benin, Burkina Faso, Central African Republic, CAR, Chad, Comoros, Congo, the Gambia, Guinea, Guinea-Bissau, Liberia, Madagascar, Malawi, Mali, Mozambique, Niger, Rwanda, Sao Tome, Principe, Sierra Leone, and Togo. Okay. Oh, and according to the United Nations Secretary General, Antonio Guterres, is that he, along with a group of 165 former global leaders and prominent international figures, they have urged the suspension of the debt repayments. They are the ones who have urged for it to occur, right? So that they can, according to these world leaders, they say that these nations, they can use their scant resources for the coronavirus disease, okay? All right. Okay. Guys, I hope you're enjoying the program. Okay. So I am going to close off now, right? And so let me close with one more story, right? Let's see which one to give to you. So much things going on in the world, guys. I mean, it's just a whole lot. I can't give you everything, as you know, right? And so I try to do as best as I can to give you as much as I can. Okay, so, oh, no, I cannot give you this one. I don't have enough time to give this one to you. So here's what I'm going to have to do. All right, so tomorrow, which is Wednesday. Oh, I'm still trying to confirm the exact day this week when our mystery guest from the Alzheimer's Association of Jamaica is going to come on to the program. She is I spoke with the Alzheimer's Association of Jamaica, and they have said that they told me who it's going to be. It's a surprise for you, but I know who it's going to be, right? And she's going to come on. And we were looking forward to that because we really want to know the mentally challenged, right? Persons living with dementia, etc. These are persons we have not heard much about during this COVID-19. Am I correct? Right? And we want to hear some more. We really want to know what's going on. And so, yes, I am definitely looking forward to that. And I will have more information for you and I'll let you know. Right. Okay. So, I was listening to this doctor on YouTube, right? Um, his name is Doc Von. It is Vietnamese, but it's I think he's an American citizen. But he's from Vietnam, right? Originally, okay. And he is a surgeon. He's a surgeon. He teaches doctors, right? One of those doctors, right? So he knows a thing or two. And I was watching him on YouTube breaking down for us exactly how the COVID-19 actually killed persons, right? Do you want to hear? Okay, so I'm going to use the last few minutes that I have on this program to share with you what I have learned from this doctor. I was so fascinated because he had diagrams and everything, guys, and I don't have the diagrams to show you and everything. And maybe one day I might, I don't know, we'll see. I'm so limited with my resources as to what I can and cannot do, but we'll see, right? Because I use lemons and make lemonade. Okay, so, but anyways, when he broke it down, it made perfect sense to me. Now I understood clearly how COVID-19 you notice how it is said, guys, that the persons who have died all have underlying conditions, right? Okay, now here's the reason behind that. Okay, so what happened, what the COVID-19 does, right? It goes into the lungs, right? So first of all, how your respiratory system works. I'm presuming you know how your respiratory system works. Let me know if you need me to go into details another day. Comment on it, send me a message or comment or send me a message on Facebook or on any social media platform on Twitter, Instagram, or here on YouTube to let me know if you need me to go into details concerning this, okay? And I will, because I understand and I know. All right. And I'm not a doctor, but I'm well read, and so I like to watch and listen and learn. And so I have learned from this doctor exactly what's happening here in terms of when. So here's the point: it's not about whether or where the COVID-19 is coming from. We're not talking about the origin of it, whether it's man-made or it's natural. What we're talking about is the actual event, what it actually does when it does reach into your body. That's what we're talking about, right? So you breathe in oxygen and you breathe out carbon dioxide. You understand that, right? So there's an air exchange that takes place in your lungs. You understand that? First of all, the air comes in, right? And it goes down the trachea, right? Through the bronchi into your lungs. You understand that? And so in your lungs, you have air pockets. Okay, they're like little balloons. They expand and they contract. They expand and they contract. And there are millions of them in your lungs, guys. Millions of them in your lungs. So you have those, and then you have the space in between them, right? There are two types of cells in your lungs, type 1 and type 2. Okay. Now, apparently, according to what the good doctor has said, and I understand it, the COVID-19, it attacks your type 2 cells in your lungs, right? And when it does that, what happened? It dies, right? Now, that type 2 is where you have that exchange of air. So what it means now, guys, is that you see how you breathe in oxygen and breathe out carbon dioxide, and your lung, it expand and contract, expand and contract, expand and contract. So when it becomes damaged now, it can know what is happening is that fluid start to build up in your lungs. You know that when fluid start to build up in your lungs, that's what we call pneumonia, yeah? So it's like a lot of that occurring in your lungs, right? And you have pneumonia. And fluid is building up in your lungs. And the more the fluid builds up in your lungs, guys, it's the less able that your lungs is able to contract and expand and contract, expand and contract. And there is no exchange of air now. Now you know what happens because you well, and again, if you don't know, I will spend another time in more detail to get that information to you. But you're finishing, Lord, almost finishing. Please, Daddy, let me finish. Please let me finish, Daddy. As I was saying, right? So the arteries in your body, those blood vessels, they take their oxygenated blood from your heart to the rest of your body. And then the veins take the deoxygenated blood back to your heart. That's how it works, right? Persons who don't know, you can research it, right? It's online. Or you can send me a comment and I will go into detail with these things if you want to learn more about these things, all right? These are things that I actually teach my students. Yeah. So what happened is basically this. So now, because of the fact that the oxygen, remember, there's no exchange of air now in the lungs. So now there is no oxygenated blood. There is no oxygen going to the rest of the body, right? The oxygen can't get to go. The oxygen, somebody who is not watching my program, because if you're watching my program, you know that I'm on live. No, I can't speak to you. Sorry about that. Okay, so as I was saying to you, basically, right? It's this. Because there's no exchange of air, so the oxygen is not getting to for it to go through the arteries to get to the rest of the bodies. So here's what happened. And common sense will tell us this, right? If there's no oxygen going to the kidney, for example, what happens? Because all cells need oxygen to live. We all need oxygen to live. So if there's no oxygen, the cell dies. So if you had, for example, kidney problem, and now there's no oxygen coming to your kidney, what happens? You have kidney failure. Yeah? The same thing with the liver damage, right? And that's what happened, guys. Yeah. And so also person with diabetes, all of these underlying conditions, it is the lack of oxygen that is going to the other parts of the body. And so now you find that those cells are dying. And because those cells are dying, that's why people die from underlying conditions. Yeah. That is what's happening, guys. What happened that when this is happening, what they have to do, they have to get you on a ventilator. Yeah. Because why they do that? Because what is happening? Because you're not breathing, you're gasping for you. Because what's really happening, guys, when you have pneumonia like that, what's happening is that you're actually drowning. That is why you hear accounts of persons, first responders who are telling you that some of the persons died, their mouth was frothy and the front was pink. Yes, because it is that blood, you understand, in the lungs. Yeah. So that's what's happening. So now that when they have that, you can't breathe on your own. You're gasping for breath. You feel like you're drowning. Yeah. And so they put you on the respirator because they don't want you to tire out. You get to why they put you on the respirator? They don't want you to tire out. TIREOUT. They don't want you to tire out. So they put you on the respirator for the respirator now to breathe for you instead of you breathing for yourself. That is the point, right? And unfortunately, 50% of persons still die, right, because of these underlying conditions. But persons who do not have these underlying conditions are who have a strong immune system. They're able to survive. And that's what happens, guys. Yeah? Mm-hmm. So I do hope you found that informative. I was very fascinated by it. Okay, and I'm going to actually put the link to that because he explained it. Like, I mean, even a 2-year-old would understand when he's finished explaining it. I'm going to put that link in on this channel at the end of this program. I'm going to put the link there so that you can click on that link and you can go and watch for yourself this doctor and understand in more details based on what I have said, because he spent I don't remember how long it was, maybe about an hour to explain this, what I'm doing in 5 minutes. Okay, so I hope this helped persons to understand so they can better able to make informed decisions based on what I just said. All right, and also understand why it's important, guys, for you to not have any kind of foreign matter going into your nostrils or your mouth or your eye. You got to cover up. Okay, you have 2 organs, right? Esophagus, that the food goes down, and the trachea, that the air goes down. Okay. Now you know everything comes through into your nostrils and your mouth, And even your eyes too, guys. The eyes, it's rare for the eyes because the eyes, thank God created, they have the eyelashes and you have your tear ducts and all kind of thing that protects your eyes and protect your eyes from foreign bodies. But we do not want know why the foreign bodies get into our eyes also, which is why you wear goggles inside, as a PPP, you understand, equipment, right? Personal protective equipment, right? The goggles are also worn because things can get into your eye, right? So the point is, the idea of covering up is to prevent any kind of virus, any kind of bacteria, any kind of foreign matter, any microbe or microorganism from getting into your trachea. If it goes into your esophagus, that's good actually, because once it gets into your stomach, those acid will burn it up. Yeah, but the problem is that it's not going there if it's coming into your air, because air goes to your trachea and goes to your lungs, and that's the problem, guys. When it goes into your lungs, that is the problem. All right. And so I hope you found this program very informative. If you do, please share, like, give me a thumbs up, and share it with your family and friends, and invite them to come again tomorrow at midday when I will have another episode for you, when I will share a lot more information, because this program, guys, is supposed to be informative, right? It's supposed to be entertaining and educational and edifying, right? So I hope you found it edifying. And if you do, please let me know, okay? Send me a comment, send me some information, whether it's here, yes, here, and in addition to my Facebook and my Twitter and my Instagram account, okay? Thank you so much for watching. I hope you enjoyed the program as much as I enjoyed sharing information with you. And I am looking forward to seeing you again tomorrow, right here on Omega Live with JJ, Woman Without Borders. Until next time, I now say to you, stay blessed and be a blessing. Love you. Bye.